The revolution's begun. The time to stand up has come. We are the rocking of the throne. We are the rocking of the throne.
I'm Victor Tiffany with Revolt Against Plutocracy, the Burn Your Bust organization. I want to get to an update as to what we're doing between now and the time the primaries get rolling again. But first, I want to encourage everybody to subscribe to the Burn Your Bust television show. I will provide a link to that below this video in the description area. Subscribe to that show, watch that show. Alan Howe is doing an extraordinary job talking about the primaries, talking about the problems with Joe Biden, talking about Burn Your Bust and the Sanders-Trump swing voters and all aspects of this. Yes, indeed, the revolution is being televised. Just tune in. I want to give you an update as to what is going on with these primaries and how COVID-19 has changed the calculus of the 2020 Democratic Party primaries. Up until this virus hit and the businesses started shutting down and all kinds of activities started going by the wayside and a recession is set in, clearly that's underway, we were saying that in current economic conditions only Bernie beats Trump. That was true because it was going to be a close race and it's hard to defeat an incumbent president during low unemployment rates. That's no longer the case. Now what we're arguing is a little different. We're saying that only Joe Biden can lose to Trump. Right? If Joe Biden of 2016 could have defeated Trump this year because he's vulnerable now that the economy is in the trash. But Joe Biden 2020, the guy who can't remember Barack Obama's name, the guy who can't remember what state he's in, the guy who can't remember Declaration of Independence' most famous line, Joe Biden is suffering from some sort of cognitive decline. And he's not fit for public office. He's not going to be able to defeat anybody in any office. Which means it's going to be closer than it should be if he's the nominee. And what we're trying to get across to the media is that Burn Your Bust will still have an influence. So what we're asking, because of this changed dynamic, if you're Burn Your Bust, reach out to your favorite pundit, whether it's Mike Figueroa, or Kyle Kulinski, or David Dole, or Sam Cedar, anyone on the progressive side, and ask them to cover the Burn Your Bust people. Ask them to interview either myself or Alan Howe, the host of the Burn Your Bust show, so we can update them as to what is going on in terms of leverage strategy and the Sanders-Trump swing voters. If you're not Burn Your Bust, we need to get mainstream media to start covering Joe Biden's cognitive decline. They're hiding it. They're telling these massive lies of omission. They're not covering Biden's decline in mental functionality. And that's a crime. I mean, it's a crime against truth. It's a crime against information. They're telling lies of omission. So we're asking everyone, and not just once, remember there's millions of us quarantined, sitting around all day. Instead of sitting around watching television, reruns and whatnot, get on your computer and reach out to MSNBC. Reach out to @Maddow, @Lawrence, @Chris L. Hayes on MSNBC. On Twitter, you can reach out to these people and tell them, hey, cover Joe Biden's problem. Don't be mean, but don't say please either. Make a demand. Cover Biden's cognitive decline. We don't know what's causing it. We're not doctors, but you don't have to be a doctor to see somebody's having problems. If it was your father or parent, you'd be asking them to go visit a doctor. And we're asking the media to cover this, to examine this, to address this apparent problem. Because the Democrats uniting behind a candidate who's suffering from some sort of dementia are basically saying, well, we just want to defeat Bernie Sanders. We just want to defeat Bernie Sanders, but after that, we don't care what happens. And that's what they're moving toward. Michael Moore has said on his podcast that DNC party elites are aware of this. He's just going to nominate some strong female younger, smart vice presidential nominee, and that'll fix everything. Oh, that's not going to fix anything. At this point, only Biden will lose to Trump. And we got to get mainstream media to cover this. Reach out to them. Pick up the phone. Call MSNBC. Get through their phone lines. Try to get a message to Maddow, Chris Hayes, and Lawrence O'Donnell and tell them to cover Joe Biden's decline or the sexual assault that's being reported. Just get them to cover the news and stop acting like DNC propagandists. Thank you. We'll talk to you later.
Revolt Against Plutocracy won't just be covering the news about the necessary revolution in the United States. Sometimes we'll be making the news. If you want to stay on top of the revolutionary actions and strategies of grassroots, genuine progressives, and our allies, please subscribe to our YouTube channel today.